You don't gotta spend $200 and buy a whole f***ing turkey to have a Thanksgiving feast. Rosemary and sage work good in a brine. And you gotta have garlic. A couple peppercorns. Expressing their oils releases their flavor. I like using kosher salt for a brine. It dissolves quicker. A peeler will express that lemon peel and orange peel. Less than $4 in chicken drumsticks. That brine will give them flavor and make them more tender. That's not stale and dried out yet, no good for sandwiches. Perfect for croutons for stuffing. Put your oven on your lowest setting. You don't want those to toast, you just want them to dry out. Sweet, flat cipollini onions. Their skins are easy to peel if you blanch them. 30 seconds. I love cipollini onions. What size and variety squash you pick is up to you. Just pick something with a tough exterior skin that's going to hold up in baking. These smaller carnival squash are richer in texture, have a nuttier flavor, and perfect for individual size portions. And the tough skin of a kabocha and creamy interior is better if you want to do a big one for a couple, 2, 3 people. We're going to use the squash as our baking vessel. We're going to make the inside of this squash delicious with thyme and cipollini. That brine infused those chicken legs with garlic and herbs overnight. But you want to dry off those legs real good and then put them in your squash like a bouquet. A delicious bouquet of chicken drummies. Stuff them in there good. I like using the carnival squash for individual portions. I'll take chicken drummies over roses any day. Drying out your croutons in the oven means that your stuffing won't be mushy later. If your squash doesn't sit flat like that kabocha, use some foil to make a nest. Now that carnival squash will sit flat. We gotta bake these in 2 stints. Whenever I start stuffing, I start it with butter, sausage, or bacon. Since breakfast sausage has sage in it, it's the perfect addition to stuffing. I think I'm adding some butter to this anyway. Those onions are going to need all that fat. Lots of onions, and celery too. Those got a lot of water in them. We want them to cook down first. Now we're building flavor. Time for those stuffing herbs, sage and rosemary too. Chicken stock will help us get up the rest of those brown bits. And get some more stock on the stove to reduce. We're going to need it later for gravy. There's nothing like the texture of stuffing made with homemade croutons. This ain't no package mix, so add plenty of salt and pepper. And let me tell you, it doesn't smell like a package mix. That smells f***ing good. If it still looks a little dry, add a little more stock. And make sure you added enough salt. F***ing perfect. It certainly smells like Thanksgiving. Oh. I'd say that chicken is 90% of the way there. We got to make some room. I want those cipollinis and that juice. The soft interior of that pumpkin we're going to keep. We always serve squash at Thanksgiving. I like these mini individual ones. You can dump them right out. Carnival squash has got the best texture too. Squash comes out, cipollini goes back in, stuffing, and chicken, this time like a lollipop. Pack them in real good too, with plenty of stuffing. Pumpkin stuffed with cipollini and sausage stuffing. Pumpkin and sausage go really well together, with a bouquet of chicken legs sticking out. I may have gotten a little aggressive. Mine cracked, so I made a Band-Aid. Crisis averted. This dinner's going to need a couple of potatoes. Jacketed spuds are, in my opinion, the fluffiest. Rutabagas. The peel is edible, but it can be tough. Rutabagas taste like cabbage. You know what goes good with cabbage? Bacon. Who doesn't love the flavor of bacon and cabbage? A skewer will keep that bacon in place, but you may want to use one in a couple of different spots. I'd say this may even work for Thanksgiving dinner. Veggies and all. We're not done with the interior of that squash. Chicken and cipollini started the flavoring, but we need to add maple syrup. Now it'll be perfect. Check for seasoning. Are good. You don't have to, but I'm making a little garlic butter with fresh garlic. Come on. My butter's unsalted. Garlic needs the salt. And one last thing, that chicken stock. It's been reducing, so it's concentrated. I like to add dark soy for color. It's not required, but I like it. And cornstarch slurry to thicken that up. Bringing it back to a boil will fully activate that cornstarch, and you may want to add a little salt and pepper. That's what I'm looking for. If you want it thicker, add more cornstarch. Hell, you could make that f***ing wallpaper paste if you want. Those look f***ing beautiful. When those potatoes hit 210, we know they're properly fluffy. Ooh, here's the build. Potato, look at that texture. Give me a little salt and pepper on that potato. Then some of that garlic butter. Some of that squash. A bacon wrapped rutabaga. And a chicken. Jellied cranberry sauce, please. That whole thing is getting gravy. Chicken instead of turkey's fine, but nothing replaces Frenchie's crispy onions. F*** the green beans. Give me the onions.
It's like an upside down turkey or an upside down fat chick. Oh my God, it tastes like Thanksgiving. You would not feel like you were missing out at all if you had this.
I'm f***ing happy.
Oh my God. That drumstick is way better than I thought it was going to be.
F*** the turkey. It's all about the sides.
Oh, the squash though. Look at that.
Potatoes, stuffing, all of it.
Oh my God, shut the front door with the bacon wrapped rutabaga.
Chicken legs and sides in the oven all at once, and we're done.
A frickin' frat can do that in their apartment up on the 38th floor, no problem. That's fucking good.
That's all I need.
God, baby, you knocked that shit out of the park.